23rd, 2025 business meeting is now called to order. Will all who are able please rise for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I now ask for a roll call vote for establishment forum.
Vice President Cuneo.
Here.
Director Beaver.
Here.
Director Sartorius.
Here.
Director Asman. Director Nelson.
Here.
President Meeks.
Present.
Oh, I'm sorry, Director Suda.
Present. A quorum being present, I now ask to excuse the absence of Director Asman. And,
I'll make that motion.
thank you. Can I get a second?
I second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. I now invite Chief of Communications Jennifer Henry to the podium to introduce two distinct recognitions.
Good evening, President Meeks, Vice President Cuneo, Board of Directors, Dr. McLean. I'm Jennifer Henry, the Chief Communications Officer for the district. And tonight we have a recognition that is going to be presented from our friends at the Missouri Retired Teachers Association. And I would like to welcome to the podium at this time. It does not look like they have arrived yet, so we will start that. Thank you.
Up to 30 minutes, each meeting is set aside to hear public comments. Each comment is limited to 3 minutes to address any item that is a legitimate part of the agenda of the board. Time limits are strictly observed and speakers are invited to the podium. We have 2 public comments. We will start with SEF, Mr. Timmy.
Good afternoon,
Good
President Meeks, Vice President Cuneo, Superintendent Macklin, and members of the directors of SSD Board of Education. My name is Tim Eby. I'm the Executive Director of the Special Education Foundation. And I want to just, first of all, thank you for including next month's Dan McLaughlin's charity golf tournament and auction on your board calendar. Just that the board packet. This event, which is our largest fundraiser for the foundation, will take place on Monday, October 13th at Norwood Hills Country Club. Our goal is to raise $350,000, which will support our mission of assisting students, their families, and educators in the SSD community. Last week, we were excited to see the impact of some of the funds that we raised at last year's tournament, which supported, among other things, the Mobility Project, which was an initiative to empower SSD students with complex mobility needs to experience independent movement. With funds raised last year, we collaborated closely with SSD's Assistive Technology Department to purchase 4 power wheelchairs. And these are high-tech devices. After several months of staff training and equipping the chairs were delivered to schools in St. Louis County last week, including the Normandy Early Childhood Center, an elementary school in the Rockwood district, and SSD schools among those. The chairs will be used in trial periods of approximately 8 weeks, allowing SSD's assistive technology and OT-PT teams to assess how movement improves communication, academics, and social interaction. The opportunity really here is to partner with families if they are considering purchasing one. They can also share data from the trial period that the students have with outside agencies, including insurance companies with whom they may be working with. It's a partnership designed to ensure that the SSD team can work closely with students and provide families with the necessary information. And it's all about creating independence for these students. Our vision is to do this, doing this is more than just mobility. It's really about giving students independence, connection, and dignity. Students and families will have more information to make informed decisions, whether for school use or for purchasing their own power chair. So we're grateful for the partnership that we've had with SSD. And just so you know, the deal we were able to cut with these our wheelchair manufacturers was amazing. These chairs, the average cost of these chairs is $36,000 each. So it was amazing. I want to thank all the team from Alan Wheat's team and those folks who did a wonderful job in getting this done. But it's going to benefit a lot of kids, and I want to thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we have Joyce Rudnick.
Good evening, everyone. I would, like to thank you for inviting me to speak tonight. My name is Joyce Orley Rudman. I'm currently an SSD homebound teacher. Dr. Macklin came to our orientation of homebound at the beginning of the school year. Sent to me, thanking him for coming and saying how wonderful I think that he is. I appreciate his sincere for our kids and for staff. His devotion to us is amazing. I feel that a leader like Dr. Macklin has positive impact on each of us. I've been with this district for 53 years. I've seen all kinds of superintendents. I've seen all kinds of board presidents. I've seen all kinds of supervisors, and he's the best. When I first started, I had a classroom in a regular building. Back then we were called rented rooms. There were only about 15 such rooms in all of the district, in all of the county. I was in the classroom for 35 years. I retired and moved into the homebound department, which is where I am now. I started teaching before IEPs, and people say, what did you do before, how did you teach? We taught. We knew what the kids needed and we did it. I'm grateful for IEPs though. Many things have changed in our district where our central offices, people have changed, how we operate has changed. But one thing has not changed. Our kids deserve the very best from the top all the way across the board. And only being with this district 53 years, what do I know? But I really think we have the best from the top and all the way through. I don't want to say from the top down. I think we're all on a level playing field. But I think it's important, it starts at the top and goes across. As an SSP homebound teacher, I also think it's really important that we have good support from our team, and my supervisors are amazing. 2 summers ago, I had 3 students pass away in the same week. It was really rough. I could not have gotten by without my supervisors doing so wonderful. Every moment with my kids is a gift. I treasure every minute with them. Without this district, without the leadership, without all of us, I don't know where our kids would be. I just want to thank everybody. 53 years. I don't know how many more to go, but I love it. So thank you. Do not do that. Thank you.
So, do you mind standing there for a second? I'm just in awe because I think you said such kind words about the entire district, the leadership team, and the people that you work with. But I am honored to be in the presence of someone who has supported children for 53 years. Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
And your continues, and you look amazing. Thank you. We'll call, Jennifer Henry back up to the podium for the.
I'm not commenting. Oh, they came, sorry.
They're not, but we're going to do the recognition. Thank you, sorry.
It does not appear that our MRTA representative is going to be able to join us tonight, but we do have the recipient of the grant with us tonight, Lindsay Brayfield. She is a behavior analyst at Northview High School, and she applied for a grant to ask for grooming and hygiene materials for students with special needs, enabling them to develop independence and essential learning. The project was developed to foster personal hygiene and grooming habits necessary for daily living and promote social inclusion by equipping students with the skills to meet societal expectations for grooming and hygiene. And we have a full story on our website with more details about the work that Ms. Brayfield was doing. And I would like to invite her up for a round of applause and a photo with our board.
Is there a motion to approve the consensual item? Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? No discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion to approve the consent item carries. We'll now proceed to tonight's superintendent report.
Great, thank you. Tonight we will receive two reports. First, CFO Cindy Rodman will present the FY 26 tax rate for SSD. And then we will invite public comment related to the proposed tax rate. Additionally, the board and the public have been provided with the informational slide deck regarding ESY extended school year summer programming, which will not be presented here tonight, but that has been provided. So CFO Cindy Rodman. I also want to say thank you to Joyce, who left here, but I have, as a superintendent, I have an amazing team that at the end of the day provides a lot of opportunities, a lot of outlets, and really provides me the opportunities to be successful and to be a superintendent. Without them, they get the best and the worst of both worlds. The best world because they get to work with Dr. Macklin, the worst world because they get to work with Dr. Macklin. So I do appreciate that. Now I want all of them to hear that Joyce had worked for SSD for 53 years. So 53 years from today, I expect all of you to be in your seats. From today, that's right, Karen, that's right. So 53 years from today, I expect you all to be in your seats. All right, CFO Cindy Rodman.
Good evening, President Meeks, Vice President Cuneo, Board of Directors, Dr. Macklin, and committee members. Tonight, I am Cindy Ryleman, Chief Financial Officer. Tonight, we're going to talk about the tax rate hearing and the tax rate proposed for the fiscal year 2026 school year. So by state statute, the district has to set its tax rate for the fiscal year 2025-2026 by October 1st. There are two tax levies that get set by October 1st. The first is the operating tax levy, the second is the debt service tax levy. SSD does not have a debt service tax levy because we do not have any general obligated bonded indebtedness. Also, by state statute, the district is required to have a public tax rate hearing. That's why we have gathered here tonight. In addition, we have to provide a notice for our tax rate hearing that has to be posted 7 days prior to the hearing, as well as in 3 public places. And so we typically have chosen our school buildings, our SSD school buildings, our central office, as well as our website to make sure that we have met that posting requirement. I want to inform the board and remind the board that typically the information that's included on the tax rate notice is pre-Board of Equalization. The St. Louis County tries to provide information to us after Board of Equalization by September 15th. And sometimes our notice has to get posted and publicized prior to the information we receive by the county. So the notice may have pre-Board of Equalization numbers, but by the presentation and by the hearing, we have updated those with that rate and the information being presented to reflect post-Board of Equalization information. Information required to be presented during the hearing includes assessed valuation information for both the current year and previous year, any anticipated revenue based on the assessed valuation changes, and then the tax rates by fund that are being proposed. And then we're supposed to identify any potential new revenue based on either new construction or reassessment based on the assessed valuation changes. So this is the tax levy process and the steps that we follow, but we also include sending our information to the state auditor's office so that they can review our calculation for our tax rates. So they actually approve them and send us a pro forma back. That's included as part of the packet and the information that we are sharing tonight, as well as submitting an estimate of required local taxes to the St. Louis County Clerk's Office by October 1st. The new rate will be used on tax bills that will be sent out. So St. Louis County typically makes all the tax rate and billing data available on the county website during the final week of October, and then they'll send the bills out usually in November. Any collections that we receive from the county after December 1st, we call those delinquent taxes. Everything prior to that we refer to as current taxes. The Hancock Amendment protects taxpayers so that if real and personal property values increase exponentially or significantly, the district is, because of the Hancock Amendment, the district cannot increase the tax rate more than the amount of revenue generated after deducting new construction to more than the CPI or 5%. So it's the lesser of the two. The CPI, you can see based from the form from the state auditor's office, was 2.9%. And so we are capped at the 2.9% of revenue since it is the lesser than 5%. Actually, I want to go back just to make a comment. So the last bullet I think is very important just to remind the board and the community about. So the permitted increase, the district's limited to the maximum authorized ceiling that is calculated. So we have a maximum authorized levy. That was what the voters have approved at a certain time. And then as we calculate each year, we have a new maximum ceiling as well. So the next few slides really include the information that is used based on the assessed valuation information that's submitted to us by not only St. Louis County, but Jefferson County, because we have a sliver of our district in there as well. And so we include both of the assessed valuations from both counties, and all that data is provided on here just to digest. But this is the information that gets used to prepare our tax rate notice that's publicized. You can see on average, so we usually talk about averages because different areas of the county can have different impacts. Some might increase at a lower percentage than others. And so on average, our assessed values increase 11.08%. This next slide also shows the anticipated revenue that's anticipated based on the assessed valuation and the new construction that occurred during 2025. The tax rate, and we'll focus this a little bit, is decreasing by 0.0655 cents. This is a graphical line and bar chart just to kind of help illustrate the effect of the increased assessed valuation and the effect it has on the tax rate. So you can see the years that the red bars increase, which is the assessed valuation information, the blue line decreases because that's our tax rate. So as increased assessed valuation, the tax rate decreases, which is again a result of the Hancock Amendment. So most school districts in St. Louis County are doing a multi-rate. So if you participate in your local school district's tax rate hearings, you'll see that they'll have a multi-rate, that they do a tax rate for agricultural, a tax rate for commercial, a tax rate for residential, etc. And so because we have a portion of our district in Jefferson County, and Jefferson County chose to do a single rate, SSD also does a single rate. So just wanted to make sure that everybody understood that we have a single rate for SSD. The St. Louis County districts will have what they call a blended rate. This slide shows the proposed tax rate for 2025. So 2025 refers to the calendar year because that's how the county assesses property. It is for fiscal year 26 for our budget year. So the proposed tax rate is 0.8993 cents, which is a decrease from the prior year, which is again is a decrease of 0.0655 cents. And again, you can see a snippet of the pro forma from the state auditor's office, where they reviewed our calculation and approved our rate, and the ceiling being the 0.8993 cents. So this is the slide and the information regarding our revenues. You can see that our estimated tax revenue collection based on a calculation and a collection rate of 96.5% is the $334 million. The amount of current year property tax, so again, current year property tax and state assessed road and utility that we budgeted is again also $334 million. So based on our new tax rate that we're assessing and based on what we budgeted, we're anticipating or estimating about a $669,000 increase over what we budgeted. Again, at a 96.5% collection rate. We'll never be 100% collection rate because the county takes their percentage off the top. They have like a 1.5 to 2% rate that they'll take off. And then not everybody pays their taxes, right? So they'll appeal them or whatever. So we never collect 100%. So we're averaging around that 96.5. Now I'd like to kind of illustrate what it looks like on the impact for a homeowner. So again, we talked about there's various assessment rates, residential, agriculture, commercial, etc. We want to focus on the residential rate, which is the 19% for the homeowners. So this is a calculation. We look at market trends just to kind of see what an average house is, right? So what's an average market value? So we use the illustration of $300,000. So if an individual owns a home with a value of $300,000, what would that tax rate and what would the impact be on that homeowner? So if we take that $300,000 market value home, we multiply it by the 19% assessment rate that we just covered on the previous slide, you get the $57,000 of assessed value. That's what we apply the tax rate to. We have to divide that $57,000 assessed value by $100 because it's a rate per $100 of assessed valuation. And so if we take the $570 multiplied by our tax rate, our proposed tax rate of 0.8993, it would result in a $512.60 tax bill for that homeowner. So just to help educate people on how tax rates and home ownership works. So next, I want to cover the senior property tax credit program. So there's a lot of information here. I want to update the board on a little bit of what's happened since this went into effect. So it was passed by the legislature during the 2023 legislative session. Governor Parsons signed it into law. When Governor Parsons signed it into law, it gave the counties the ability to enact what they chose to do. St. Louis County, chose to enact a senior property tax credit program or a property tax freeze. I wanted to update you on the fact that on August 26th, during the county council's meeting, the county council passed a substitute bill for Bill 146, which eliminated the sunset provision in the original ordinance. So the sunset provision said in 5 years, it would sunset the property tax freeze and the credit program. So they chose to eliminate the sunset. So now the ordinance states that the council shall review the program within 5 years from the date of enactment for purposes of continuation, amendment, or repeal. So they'll review it and decide if they're gonna amend it, appeal it, or repeal it, or if they're gonna continue it. So I just want to make sure that the board understood that. In addition, they also eliminated the debt service part of that senior property tax credit. So what was happening was your tax bill for operating would be frozen at your 2024 bill. However, any changes in debt service, you would have that effect. The county council at that same meeting also chose to eliminate the debt service, so it's frozen for operating levy as well as debt service. So I just want to convey that as well. Again, I need to reinforce, there's no way to know the impact of what the senior property tax credit program or property tax raise is having on SSC at this time. They were reviewing applications, and I'm going to speak ahead of myself, so I'm going to the next slide. The Department of Revenue was still reviewing applications through September 15th. And from my understanding, they are waiting till all the property tax rates have had their hearings, as well as been approved by their boards, whether it's ambulance boards, fire districts, school districts, etc. Once all those tax rates have been approved by their jurisdictions and they have been submitted and certified to the county, the county is then going to enter it all in. They'll use all that information for their data on the property tax owners, and then they'll know the effect on the local jurisdictions, the political subdivisions. So again, we still don't know the true impact of what this is going to do ultimately, but we do know it is a freeze on our revenue, so we won't have additional revenue coming to us, right? So it's a freeze on our revenue that we'll receive from taxpayers. So in summary, I know that was a lot of information, but in summary, 2025 is a reassessment year. The assessed values increase on average 11.08%. Our additional revenues coming from the new construction and the reassessment that we are incurring. And then administration is recommending that the SSD tax levy be approved as follows. The operating fund is 0.8993 cents. Debt service fund, we don't have one, so that will be 0 for a total tax rate of 0.8993 cents. What questions do you have for me?
I would like to thank you. I really like the slide where we show the impact on homeowners. That brings it really into focus for me. Just an update, the county executive was on the news today saying that they're going to review applications until September 30th.
Okay.
So there's an update there that I just heard an hour ago or something.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And I don't know, I'm not able to tease this out in my head at this moment, but we are dropping our rate. So with the freeze, are people frozen at a dollar amount or frozen?
They're frozen at a tax liability. So what the county's doing is they're looking at, let's say, your tax bill for 2024. And then if you applied and you met all the requirements for your application, you got approved, you would be frozen at that tax liability you paid in 2024.
The dollar amount and not the
Not
rate.
frozen.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes. So if you paid $1,000, that's what you would be frozen. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. That was awesome.
So there's
Yeah,
potential
absolutely.
impact.
Maybe I need to add a slide like that.
So much to think about. Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Thanks for that. I couldn't find a way to articulate it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Alright, no other question? Alright, will we now move to 5.02? Are there any comments, from the public regarding the proposed, FY 26 tax rate? Hearing none, I now close the public tax rate hearing. The board will now take up an action items, 6.01, the FY 26 tax rate. Is there a motion to approve the FY 26 tax rate?
So moved.
Get a second? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. 6.02, Courage is Built Here agreement. Is there a motion to approve the Courage is Built Here agreement?
So moved.
Second,
Second.
any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? I keep looking up to make sure I'm catching you.
Yeah, you might go on mute. But he's mouthing.
Got it, that's what I'm like looking at. Thank you,
I'm
Jeff.
seeing the
Motion
thumbs
carries.
go up.
Yeah. 6.03, Early Childhood Special Education Coalition District Service Agreement for the 2025-2026 school year.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. 6.04, Early Childhood Special Education Coalition District Service St. Louis Public Schools Memorandum of Understanding for 2025-2026 school year.
So moved.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. 6.05, Apprise Technology LLC. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. 6.06, Pet Insurance Providers, Pet Partners, and Wagmo. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second. Any discussion?
I am curious, how often is this used? I'm just curious.
I could get that information.
No, I know, and the reason why is I was coming home yesterday, I found out that my wife bought a dog. Our third, a Cavapoo, which was not my idea. But the dog ate my glasses. Now, I'm curious. The only time I wear glasses is right before I go to bed, so I don't sleep with my contacts. I am curious, would that have been insured, or is it only if the dog ate it and the dog got sick?
I'm thinking if the dog got sick.
I wish it had, but no, I shouldn't say it with nobody in it. All right, just curious, I am glad we offer pet insurance.
And I think it's at no cost to the district, but it does provide an aggregate access to employees to pay in at a lower rate, so.
Keep your
I think we have, yes, put your glasses on.
2 weeks schedule.
I got a second, I got a motion in a second.
Sorry, down below. You did.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. 6.07, Arthur J. Gallagher Risk Management Services Workers Compensation Bond. That motion approved.
So moved.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. 6.08, Missouri United School Insurance Council Music Property and Casualty Broker. Is there a motion to approve? Second. Oh, I'll say it again, I'm sorry.
She did.
Oh, I didn't hear, I didn't.
There's
hear
just-
you.
there's just-
I didn't hear, oh,
Yes.
thank you.
Thank you.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. 6.09, Personal Assistance Services Employee Assistance Program. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. It has been brought to my attention that one of our distinct recognitions are now here, so I'm gonna call up Jennifer Henry again.
Thank you, board. Unfortunately, our representative from MRTA ran into some traffic, but she has it right. Ms. Velma Bailey is here and she's going to share a little bit more information about the Missouri Retired Teacher Foundation and awards that we presented this evening.
Good evening, Madam President, members of the board, Mr. Superintendent, and all in attendance. I'm very appreciative of this moment that you've given me to share some great news about education. It is an absolute honor for me to be here today to recognize an exceptional educator from Northview High School in the special school district. Someone who shows compassion and creativity and makes a daily difference in the lives of her students. Today, we were proud to announce that we presented a $500 grant to Miss Lindsay Brefield from the Missouri Retired Teachers Association. And as you know, MRTA is 30,000 members strong across the state of Missouri. We have units in every area in the state. Lindsay was one of 5 people in our region, Region 14, to receive an award, and she was one of 80 people across the state of Missouri. This award was presented to Lindsay because she went over and beyond by creating a project to assemble hygiene kits specifically for students with special needs. This initiative isn't just about providing basic supplies. It's about dignity, accessibility, and empowerment. These hygiene kits will support students in developing essential life skills, promoting confidence, and meeting their individual needs with care and respect. And what truly sets this effort apart is that little bit of extra. The extra thought, the extra time, and the extra heart. It's that extra that turns an ordinary act of service into something extraordinary. This accomplishment is especially meaningful at this time when education is under attack. Teachers are too often unfairly labeled as uncaring. Lindsay is living proof that our educators are still showing up, giving more than required, and putting students first. Lindsay's commitment to creating a more inclusive and supportive environment is inspiring across the state of Missouri. And we thank her principal, her students, families, and the school district for supporting her. So on behalf of the Missouri Retired Teachers Association Foundation, we want to thank you for seeing that the needs that often go unseen and unmet are met with purpose and heart. We also want to extend our heartfelt thanks to the Public Relations Department for making this moment so special for everyone who's involved. Again, thank you for this moment, and we wish you well in all your endeavors with the students in the special school district.
Thank you. 7.01 closed meeting of the Board of Education, roll call vote Tuesday, September 23rd, 2025. At the conclusion of the regular business meeting, I now ask for a motion to hold a closed meeting of the Board of Education on today, Tuesday, September 23rd, 2025, and Tuesday, October 14th, 2025, to discuss legal actions, cause of actions, or litigations involving the district and any confidential privileged communication between the district or its representative and its attorneys, hiring, firing, disciplining, or promoting of any employee of the district, and individually identifying personnel records, performance ratings, and records pertaining to employees or applicants for employment. All in favor?
Aye.
We need to do a roll call.
I apologize.
That's okay.
Thank you.
Let's start with Director Sartorius,
Yes.
Director Suda,
Yes.
Director Nelson,
Yes.
Director Beaver,
Yes.
Vice President Cuneo,
Yes.
President Meeks.
Yes. Make the motion to approve the holding of the closed meetings carries. Any board communications? Open the floor, please. Of course, go right ahead.
Yes, yes, so, September, of course, is when everything gears back up, so by all accounts, we're off to a good start to the school year. A lot of us attended the Missouri School Board Association Region 7 meeting in Brentwood, where we were able to dig deeper into the impact of the phone ban in the schools and the looming finance, landscape as it is. I attended the Rittner Board work session on September 4th, where they looked at the special school district partnership agreement. And they're really happy and proud of our partnership. So that was a very rewarding, meeting. I attended the Ladue School Board's meeting as well. That was the evening that they did approve the partnership. And again, they're very proud of their partnership and really, working well together. I think my favorite comment was that they said you can't tell the special school district staff and students from the Ladue staff students, that everybody's working together, which is exactly what we want. I attended, Joe Sartorius was there as well, special school district night at the ballpark. The Cardinals won 7-1. So that was an exciting night at the ballpark. And then last night, many of us attended the special school district governing council meeting. And the governing council, of course, approves our CSIP and our strategic plan. They approve our budget, and they are responsible for the board members. So for electing board members. So it's been, and just about everywhere I went, I saw Dr. Macklin. I think he can time travel, and I went about 6 places. He went about 6,000 places. So he's really been just out, welcoming everyone and getting everyone off to a good start. I'd like to commend him for going above and beyond. Thank you.
Any other? Definitely has been a busy fall, barely into it. Is there a motion to adjourn the business meeting at 6:26?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. You all have a good evening. Thanks, everybody.